What's going on, everyone? I'm Luis Ortiz. Today we got the 1600 right over here, guys. We haven't used it for a whole lot. I think the last time we used it, it was during the Rectech versus 1600. But we got it fired up. Temps, I have it set to 220. It's doing perfect, man. So today we're gonna go ahead and do some St. Louis style ribs. So let's go ahead and get this thing going. Let's go. So we got this here St. Louis style ribs. And we haven't used the 1600 for quite some time, so we're definitely going to use it today. There we go. Now, we do have this little flap right over here. This is really good meat. Sometimes I'll end up smoking it and we end up giving it to either the cat or to the dog. One of the two, but they enjoy it. So now we're going to use this rub that we make. It has brown sugar, paprika, a little bit of cayenne, salt, pepper, brown sugar, I forget what else. I'll leave the ingredients in the description below. But it's pretty good. It's nice, it's savory, it's not too sweet. It's just right. See all that pepper right there? Yeah. No slather is needed. This pork is pretty tacky as it is already. So you don't really need a whole bunch. Flip it over one last time just to make sure that this is nice and evenly coated. Since this rub doesn't have a whole bunch of salt, I mean it has some but not a whole lot, you're not gonna over salt it by any means at all. So you can be a little bit generous with it. And I think that's it. Folks, if you have a hard time with your 1150 or 1600 for that matter, getting up to temp a little bit, this is one of the things I do. It's nice and empty, right? All right. Put a couple pellets in there to start off, and it gets up to temp real quick and it holds it steady. Today we're going with 100% hickory pellets from Lumberjack. We'll do a review on that, so be sure to go ahead and subscribe for that to go ahead and capture that video. And there's the flame. So let's go ahead and close this thing down. Let's let it get up to temp. So the 1600 is up to temp. We have it set to about 220 degrees. Now remember, guys, the way that you put the ribs on is the way that they're gonna come out. So make sure that they're nice and straight. That looks about right. All right, folks, we'll see you in a bit. All right, folks, so it's been about 2 hours. One thing I wanted to go ahead and show you is the grapholytics right over here. Look at that. 220 degrees on the dot for the past 2 hours, man. Can't complain about that. But it's time to go ahead and spritz now, so let's go ahead and do that. Look at that color, gents. Let's see if we can, look at that. Let's go ahead and spritz a little bit. Now what we have here is half water and half apple cider vinegar. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and let it stay like this. I wanna say for the next 45 minutes or so, and then we'll go ahead and do a wrap. So we'll leave it there at 220 and we'll be back. Oh, so it's been about 3.5 hours. I had bumped it up to 250. It got up to 250, I think within about 10 to 12 minutes or so, give or take. Not the quickest, but not the slowest either. You know, it is what it is. The temperature is not reaching up as quick as possible. Not the end of the world, guys. Offset smokers, they can take a little bit longer than that, you know, because you have to stroke the fire, you have to add a split, or maybe add, you know, small little sticks like that. You know, so it's not the end of the world. 10 to 12 minutes, I think that's pretty fair. Let's go ahead and take these out so that we can go ahead and do a wrap on them. Oh man, look at the color on these things, guys. They're starting to bend. Not a whole lot, but they are starting to. All right, let's go ahead and start wrapping these things up. Before anything else, guys, be sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I think it's right over here. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. So first, we're gonna go ahead and add some of this here butter, guys. See, I told you about this wind, guys. This Texas, bro. All up in here. Now, we got some of this stuff from Seasonings, Memphis King. Now I gotta tell you, man, this thing smells incredible already. So we're gonna put some of this right over here. About that. We are gonna go meat side down on this thing. There you go. And we're gonna do the same thing here, guys. I'm gonna butter this thing up. All of it, guys. And we're gonna sauce this thing up. There you go. Let's go ahead and wrap this thing up, guys. I'm gonna double foil this thing because these ribs are a little too big for this foil, or this foil is too small for it. That's no worries. You see what I'm dealing with right now, guys? This wind. Make sure that we get no leakage, period. Alrighty, put it back in here. And we'll leave it at 250 for the time being. We're gonna leave it like that for about 45 minutes to an hour. After that, we'll unwrap it and we'll give it a little bit of that glaze, guys. So the ribs have been wrapped for about an hour and some change. I know I said about 45 minutes, but we let it run a little bit longer. Oh yeah. Make sure to get some of these gloves, guys, because I gotta tell you, all these times not wearing these gloves, man, I kind of regret. All right. Oh man, there we go. Oh, look at that, gents. We're gonna kind of foil boat this a little bit. All right, so we're gonna put it back and then we'll let it glaze up. Still at 250, right? We're still at those temps. Let's go ahead and sauce it up a little bit. I forgot my brush, but let me go ahead and bring that out. All right, ladies and gents. So I've tested these already. I don't want them to fall off the bone, but man, do they bend. Bruh. It's starting to bend quite a bit, but I don't want them to fall apart, guys. So I'm just gonna leave it the way that it is right now. I got some little sausage right over there. Yeah. I know we don't have any sunlight right over here because we are in a patio. Look at that. That looks very promising. So we're gonna go ahead and let this thing rest. And I gotta tell you, man, this Pitfall 1600, as long as you use some really good pellets, temperature is of no concern. At smoke mode, it jumps up and down from 160 to 180, 160, whatever, but that's because it smolders a lot. Then the temps come back up, then drop down. Once you set it to 220, 250, just like the way that I did here, no problem really. All right, folks, so this is what we ended up with. Looks real nice and glistening. A little bit of the brush marks. It's all right. Ain't gonna hurt none. Ooh, you know what? I'm gonna do this little quick use. There we go, just a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and use this Down Strong right over here, guys. And I'm gonna go ahead and try and get between the bones. I'm not the best at trying to get it since they're diagonal, so I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna do it like this. Look at that, guys. Look at the nice glisten right over here. All right, let's go ahead and take a bite into it. Look at that, guys. Real nice, straight cut right there, straight bite through, not pulling off apart. I understand a lot of you guys like the fall off the bone type deal. Well, that's great, but to me, that kind of reminds me a bit of pulled pork. If I want pulled pork, I'll go ahead and make it. I want a little bit of texture, you know what I mean? There we go. I think this is a real nice clean cut. Look at that. Look at that. All right, let's go ahead and test it out. I used to be a believer of the 3-2-1 method, but ever since I've been doing, you know, the 220 for the first 3 hours, and then 250 for about an hour 15, an hour 20, give or take, you know, while wrapped up in foil paper. And then about, what was it, like 30 minutes or so unwrapped. That's key. If you want to fall off the bone, you know, then yeah, 3-2-1 method is going to be great for you. This is perfect for me. Like absolute fantastic. So that's what it is, guys. The 1600 is a very good smoker. You know, I was even thinking about, you know what, I don't really use it a whole lot or whatever, but it's pretty dependable. I mean, I like it. Temperatures were nice and consistent. Everything seems great. As far as the barbecue sauce goes, the Memphis one from PS Seasonings, that one is pretty good. I really like it. I enjoy it quite a bit. It's a little tangy, but not too much, right? It's kind of in the middle of it. But overall, everything turned out well. Everything is perfect. It just goes to show you guys that as long as you have really good pellets in your smoker, it's gonna hold up temps just fine without any issue. Some of you guys in the comment sections have been telling me, man, you know, I can't really get a whole bunch of, you know, my temps aren't really consistent. They take a long time to get up there, so on and so forth. You know what, guys? When it comes to starting it up, add a few pellets in the fire pot. Usually works for me. That's what I did in the 1150 sometimes. You know, not always, but sometimes. Depending on the weather. On the 1600, I definitely have to do it. It's a big old smoker, so it definitely needs it. Gets the temp real quick, boom, no problem. Now, if you have old pellets or whatever, then no matter what smoker you got, even on my Rectech, if I have some crap pellets in there, it's gonna suffer, man. The PS Seasoning barbecue sauce is pretty good. Be sure to go ahead and check it out. Like and subscribe. See you on the next one. Later.